plane today?
So twice during the flight, I'm going to need to reach this lever. It's only for takeoff and landing. This is called flaps.
Okay.
They are like little doors that lower down from the bottom of the wings. We won't be able to see them when we're flying.
Those little parts over there?
No. That's how we steer the plane. So if you look at that there, when I push the stick left to turn the plane left, you'll see it goes up. That's called an aileron. So there's a left aileron and a right aileron. So this is how we turn a plane left and right. And to go up and down is like this, pushing forward, and up is pulling towards you. To steer the plane on the ground, I use my feet. Now, right now the pedals are far away from you, but that's expected. For the very first hour of flying, nobody ever uses their feet. That's a little more advanced. If you ever really wanted to learn how to fly, then all I do is pull a lever and those pedals will come even closer to you so you can actually step on.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep. So that's multi-adjustable for different heights. Yeah, the flap thing I'm talking about is located underneath the wing. We can't actually see them unless you're standing outside the plane.
Okay.
And every once in a while, I'm going to need to make a radio announcement to the other pilots in the area. I'm just going to let everybody know who we are and where we are and what we're doing.
All right.
Edenvale traffic, SportStar, India, Juliet, Kilo, Yankee, crossing 0826 to taxiway Delta.
So this is my throttle, or my gas pedal. This is how we get the power, is this thing right here.
Okay.
There's two ways it operates. I can get a lot of power really fast if I squeeze this little ball and push it in.
Okay.
Or I can do small adjustments by going like this. That's power, that's no power. But even for today, this is still a little more advanced. What we're going to get you doing today is just actually flying and turning the plane and going up and down and stuff like that.
Okay.
The other stuff just gets a little confusing for a first lesson. What I'm doing is
traffic, Echo Whiskey Uniforms, crossing 0826 to Delta.
I'm just pulling off to the side here to double check my engine. Let this guy pass.
And Unity traffic, Skydive Zulu is passing the traffic.
That's a skydive plane. Yeah,
I want to go skydive.
Traffic, Cessna 150 Fox Whiskey Juliet Zulu. 3 miles north of the airport. We'll be inbound for landing. We'll bring it overhead for the left-hand approach on 3-1. Edenvale traffic, Skydive Zulu back track C1. Come up on your side, Bill.
I see ya. I'll follow you.
Is it not mandatory?
It is. I have to ignore this. So what we're going to do here is we're just waiting till that guy takes off. And we're going to follow this guy all the way down that runway, turn around, and take off.
All right.
Edenvale traffic, Skydive Zulu taking off C1, climbing up to 15,000.
At least it feels nice and warm in here.
Yeah, it does.
Now there's a little air vent right there for you. That's going to give you a lot of fresh air when the plane's in motion up in the air. If you find it too cold, you just turn that little thing and you'll see that it'll close.
Edenvale traffic, Echo Whiskey Uniforms on the back track for 3-1. And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee on the back track 3-1 as well.
traffic, Scala to the 3000, clear the zone.
Edenvale traffic, Cessna 150 Fox Whiskey Juliet Zulu is overhead the airport for the left hand down.
All right, it's almost our turn.
Heavy traffic cancellation on the Osaka Beach on the way back to the airport.
Edenvale traffic, Echo Whiskey uniform is rolling 3-1.
All right, we're next. I'm just giving him a little bit of time to get out of our way. So what you're going to expect here is the plane's going to get off the ground pretty quick. And
Juliet Whiskey Zulu established left hand down, about to turn left base 3-1.
And once we get off the ground, it might be a little turbulent for the first minute or so, and then it's going to get nice and smooth.
All right.
So if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
I am.
Let's do this.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee on the roll, 3-1.
And we're off. There's that turbulence I told you about. It'll be a fun ride.
I'm so glad I'm not scared of heights.
Yeah?
Whiskey Juliet Zulu turning final 3-1.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee airborne off of 3-1 with a right turnout towards Midland, climbing to 2000.
So the little bumps we're feeling is just wind gusts blowing us around. Perfectly safe and normal.
Approaching altitude. Leaving altitude.
We're now over 1,000 feet over the ground.
Wow.
Whiskey Juliet Zulu clear of G1 on Delta. Heavy traffic coming from 2 minutes to the field, approaching from the Osaka Beach side at 1700.
I'm directly in front of you, level 2.3.
And I'm directly behind Bill at 2.3.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this plane out close to the water where the beach is.
Okay.
And generally the air is a lot smoother out near the water. And then that's where I'm going to start getting you to fly this thing.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me about this thing?
Yes. What are these, and what do they tell you?
All right. So this one here tells us how high above sea level we are. Now the sea level means an area at the oceans. So say like Newfoundland, Florida, that's sea level. The airport we started flying from is already 700 feet above sea level.
Oh.
So whenever I look at this thing, in order to know how high I am off the ground, I look at that number. It says we're 2,320 feet above sea level. Then I have to minus 700 feet to know how high over the ground we are. It's a little confusing, but for the purpose of flying, when I talk to other pilots, I tell them we are at 2,300 feet.
Okay.
This one here tells us how fast we're going. And that is in a scale of knots. So it's not kilometers an hour, and it's not miles per hour, that's knots per hour. It's a little bit different speed scale. Those are probably the two most important things that I'm watching when we fly. I always want to make sure the plane is going faster than 60.
If it's slower than 60, what happens?
It becomes very difficult for the plane to stay in the air. It just constantly wants to go down. Okay. And if we go too slow, you can enter a condition what they call as a stall, which would cause the aircraft to begin to start falling. But it's not going to happen because I'm always keeping an eye on that. If the plane starts slowing down, all I need to do to speed up is push my hand forward, which pushes the nose of the plane down, which therefore picks up speed. And when I want to slow the plane down, I just pull back towards me, and you'll see that speed starts decreasing. But we're also climbing when I do that. You'll notice this thing starts going up. See, now we're at 2,300 feet. Now the ideal thing I want to do is find the right altitude that's nice and smooth up here so it's not so bumpy. So I'm going to start showing you how to do this thing now.
Okay.
So if you want to take your left hand, the reason why I say left hand is because you need to use your right hand for all this other stuff. Okay. Right? And if you had your right hand on that control stick, it'd be very hard to reach this.
Yeah,
You'd be crossing over.
Backtrack for 3-1.
So I want you to feel, just gently on there, I want you to feel what it's like when I start turning the plane to the right. All I'm going to do is just a little bit of a pull this way. See how the plane starts turning?
Yes, I do.
And if I want to turn a little bit to the left, I just push back like this. The plane will start turning.
Calling with traffic, vector collect number. Going up to...
Coming back to the right, just a gentle pull this way.
2.7.
So as long as you kind of feel how small those movements are, that's all you need to do to fly the plane, then I'll show you how to climb the thing. So if we want to start going up, we're just going to pull towards this a little bit. You can feel the nose going up. You can feel we're climbing. Now that it's getting close to 60, I push forward because I don't want it to go any slower than 60. Now we're back to level. The way that we know that we're flying level is this guy right here. If it's right on the 0, that means we're perfectly level. If it's starting to go above the 0, that means we're in a little bit of a climb. So try pushing forward on the stick. That's it. Okay. That's it. It's very hard to get it. You just got to be gentle. Very, very gentle. It's very hard to get it perfectly. So the best thing to do is just kind of fly by looking around outside. If you start watching this too much, it's going to be very hard to get those numbers perfect. So if you want to turn the plane in any direction, go for it. I'm going to keep my hand right here. I'll make sure that you can't do anything that's going to get us into trouble. And just look forward at what we're looking at. Look at the way the water is. And just do a right or a left turn, whatever you feel like doing. That's okay. That's a nice steep turn.
Wow.
Beautiful. Very, very good.
This is Golf X-ray, X-ray. Echo, lining up 3-1, take off.
Is there any particular area you'd like to see from up here?
I don't know whether we can do this because it's so high up, but can we go kind of near Blue Mountain? Because I know it's over
Absolutely.
there.
Let's go for it. So you know how to steer the plane now. Just steer it in that direction. Let's follow sort of like the shoreline.
Okay.
I'm just going to make a radio transmission to let other pilots know what we're doing.
All right.
And Collingwood area traffic, SportStar India Juliet Kilo Yankee is just above Wasaga Beach 1 at 2,500 feet, traveling westbound along the shoreline en route to Blue Mountain.
So probably one of the hardest things. One of the hardest things for a new pilot to try to do is try to maintain our altitude, our height, right? So what I did is I set this little blue indicator there.
Okay.
So if you pull back on the stick, you'll see that that needle will start coming closer to that blue indicator.
Radio is pretty much unreadable.
Pull back a little bit, you'll see we'll start climbing. That's it.
Yeah.
Once you get it to that blue area, we'll try to keep that altitude all the way to Blue Mountain.
Okay, so you want us to go higher still?
Yeah, right
like
there.
Like that.
That's it.
Okay.
You got it, you got it. Just be gentle on it. You don't need to go fast. There you go. So now we're at altitude. We're at 2,500 feet. If you notice it starts dropping a little bit, just pull a little bit gently back towards you.
Okay.
Roger traffic, Cessna 172 Charlie Golf India X Hotel is at 2.2 east of the airfield, 15 nautical miles. We'll join in mid, still for mid downwind on wind 34 at Huron, yeah.
So how you feeling so far on those controls?
Good so far.
Good. Doing very well. You can probably see Blue Mountain from here, right in front of us there.
It's so different seeing in the summer.
Yeah.
Lake Virginia, heading southwest, 2.8.
Is that where you guys live in Collingwood area?
No, my mom lives in Menacing, actually just about 5 minutes from here.
Yep.
And my dad lives in Barrie.
Very nice.
Juliet Kilo Yankee, Echo Whiskey uniform.
Go ahead, Echo Whiskey uniform, Juliet Kilo Yankee.
I had you on my scope a while ago. I'm headed your direction. Just wondering where you are now.
About a half mile off the shore, traveling west at 2,500 and coming up on the super center at Wasaga Beach.
Okay, we're about a mile and a half back, level 2.7.
Yeah, you'll see me if you look down and off to the right a little bit over the water.
Approaching altitude.
All right, video is restored.
Leaving altitude.
If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask anything.
Approaching altitude.
Did you know you always wanted to go into flying?
I did. I started flying at 16. Yeah, I definitely always wanted to fly.
You're on your traffic, Starling Foxtrot, Indian in the Gulf. Parting 16, right turnout.
You're doing very well. The good thing is you don't have that hurdle to overcome that most people have, is the fear of the heights.
Yeah, I've always loved heights.
Yankee India positioning 31 for takeoff with a right turnout.
Right over top of Collingwood.
Sierra, Consider Hotel will be over the field in about 1 minute. The plane taking off, will you make a right or left turn?
I'll go straight out for about 5 miles.
You're doing very well too, keeping that altitude. Awesome.
Thank you.
So let's see if you can find your way back to the airport.
Okay.
I bet you can do it too.
Sierra,
You're a natural at this.
We're over the field at 1.8 and we'll join the mid-downwind for runway 34 at Sierra.
Oh, it's a beautiful day to fly.
It is. It's stunning out.
Yep, the visibility is amazing today. You can see so far. Last week when it was really hot, the visibility up here was terrible. You probably wouldn't even be able to see the beach over there.
Really?
It was just so foggy up in the air because the humidity was so high.
Urania, Consider Hotel turning base, runway 34, full stop at Urania.
Off in the distance, but it's in front of us. You can almost, well, the runway is very big and gray, light gray, and it's past the beach, past the tree line. There's a water tower there. Past that, there's a green field there, a light green field, and then past that you'll see a big gray thing. And
oh, I see it.
that's where we gotta go. Let's get you to steer us in that direction.
All right.
And we'll come off to the little bit to the right of it.
Showing you traffic. Foxtrot, Indy, Lima Golf, clear there to the south.
Urania, Consider Hotel is on final, full stop 34 at Urania.
How long does it generally take to get your license?
In this category of aircraft, usually about 20 to 25 hours of training.
Collingwood traffic, Romeo.
So it's not that crazy. A person, in theory, could get their license in 2 weeks. I wouldn't recommend it, though. That's too much, too fast.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to do it in a few months, 3 months, a person can be trained up good. Now this type of aircraft is called an advanced ultralight. So if this license that you get from this allows you to fly a two-seater similar to this. To go the next step up, that's about 40 to 60 hours of training.
I want to go skydiving when I'm older.
Oh yeah? That's a crazy experience. I did it once, and that was enough for me. You could probably see the airport very well from here, right?
Hollywood traffic, Charlie, crosswind 31.
So we're just going to go in that direction.
Okay.
Once we get really close to the airport, I'm going to have to take over because there's a certain procedure we have to fly. But you're doing awesome. I'm not controlling anything this whole time.
Traffic Urania, go contact Evektor, we clear runway 34.
I'm just going to make an announcement to the airport people.
Okay.
And Edenvale area traffic, SportStar India Juliet Kilo Yankees, 5 miles northwest of the field, inbound for landing. Currently at 2,500, going to descend to circuit height and join a straight in downwind for 3-1.
So contrary to what a lot of people think, they think we could just go and land on that runway. It doesn't work that way. What we want to do is we want to land into the direction of the wind. So right now the wind is blowing this way.
Yes.
So we want to go all the way around the airport, turn around and come land on the runway in the opposite direction.
Okay.
And there's also a whole procedure that has to be done. We have to be a certain height over the ground to do this procedure. We have to do certain turns. That's why it gets so complicated that I'm going to have to take over. You're doing well. You can allow the plane now to descend, let it start going down.
Okay.
We can go all the way down to 1,700 feet. I'll put that little blue thing on the mark and just start bringing the nose of the plane downwards.
This is where we might hit some turbulence, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So as you're going down, yeah, just be ready in case it starts shaking you around.
Form directly overhead the field for mid-left for 3-1.
There's that turbulence. And the reason why it's happening is because we're getting closer to the ground.
Now, how come it doesn't happen above sea level?
Above the
Sorry,
water?
above the water, yeah.
Because the water helps absorb the sun rays that are coming in. So just imagine, the sun is almost directly above us at this time of day. They hit the earth and they have nowhere to go but bounce straight back up.
Established mid-left downwind.
Okay.
Whenever we're over top of the water, that sun hits the water and gets absorbed by the water. It doesn't bounce back up. So it's like the ground acts like a mirror.
Approaching altitude.
And the water just absorbs it?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
So we're just going to come over here to the right a little bit and then I'm going to take over, okay?
All right.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, established left downwind, 3-1, number 2.
Okay, so I'm going to take over from here.
Okay.
I have the control.
All right.
You did awesome.
Thank you. That was awesome. I hope I get to come do this again sometime.
Final 3-1.
Anytime. We do this kind of stuff year round, even in the winter.
I bet that'd be cool to see in the winter.
Yeah. So right now you can see there's another plane landing. He's right over top of that pond there.
Are there any differences when you fly in the winter?
A little bit. It's, of course, the obvious. It's cold.
Yes.
The second thing is the air is a little, I like to call it stiffer.
That makes sense, yes.
Whenever you go to move the controls, the small movements will feel very drastic. In the summer, the air is thinner. So whenever we move this control stick, it's kind of sloppy. Even right now, it's getting a little nice and tight. In the wintertime, when it's really cold and you just move that thing a little bit, the whole plane will turn real fast.
Wow.
Because the air is so cold and crisp and dense. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit turbulent and bumpy coming into land.
That's okay.
You're ready for it. I swear you're braver than some of these big 250-pound men that come and fly with me. I have some people that come and fly for lessons and they're tight, they're scared. They're panicking.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, turning left base, 3-1, full stop.
So this is where I'm just slowing the airplane down, allowing that needle to come into that little white area. And the white area means it's safe for me to put those flaps on. Now I'm going to pull that lever.
And the flaps are the parts under the wing.
Under the wing, yep. And now I'm going to pull the lever again, put more flaps on. It points the nose down at the ground and keeps our airspeed relatively slow. So So far the turbulence is behaving.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, turning final, 31, full stop.
I'm just allowing the plane to kind of float down.
How often do you go flying?
Quite a bit. Like today I have to do another few hours. Every day, as long as the weather's nice. And I don't like flying in bad rainstorms or definitely not big snowstorms. But
That would not be very fun.
yeah, or if it's very windy, I won't bother, but today's okay. The visibility is beautiful. And we're on the ground.
I expected that maybe a little more bumpy.
And there's all kinds of birds in front of us.
You run into any kind of birds, or are they just kind of like, they get out of the way?
They usually get out of the way, yeah. I haven't hit a bird in years. It's not fun to hit birds.
Probably not.
It's also potentially very dangerous to the pilot because the way that the plane stays in the air is from the propeller.
Yes.
Well, a bird could damage your propeller. And then you might be stuck having to do an emergency landing if it breaks your propeller.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, down and clear, active 3-1, backtracking 26 to the ramp.
So how was that?
That was amazing. I loved it.
Good stuff. Well, you did very, very well.
Thank you. What does that do?
That is a compass. That tells us what direction we're flying. So right now the N was on north. Now it's turning a little bit to the east. That's another thing that a lot of people have a hard time with. We have to learn how to navigate by these things.
Doesn't look like your average compass.
No, it's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now this plane has two of them. It has one here as well. Oh, that's a big dog.
Oh, wow.
Engine speed. Oil pressure.
You did it. All right.
That was awesome.